Roger, let's start with you. What do you make of it? Is it right for a business to refuse cash?
I think on an individual basis, businesses can do that. I think it's yesterday or the day before, the giant Macquarie Bank in Australia said, that's it, no more branches, no more checks in or out, no cash, everything is digital, and that's fine. But if it were to spread to the rest of the Australian banking system, that would be a disaster. So there needs to, as this evolves, there needs to be some sort of control framework in how far it can go.
What do you make of that, Emma, that there needs to be a framework to ensure that many people in this country still rely on cash day to day? This is very concerning for many people.
There's a lot of benefits to getting rid of cash. It's much more efficient for businesses. You know, it eliminates a lot more fraud. So there's a lot of benefits of going cashless, as well as some of the concerns that people have at this point.
Okay, Roger, what do you make of that? Eliminates fraud,
well, I mean,
easier
there
for
are
businesses?
there are benefits to some businesses and some people, but I think that generally older people, disabled, otherwise challenged people are not going to be able to use online banking or mobile apps, and they're going to be stuck. Otherwise, there are many sorts of particularly small businesses that simply trade in cash, not to avoid VAT or do anything crooked, but that's how they've always traded and they need that. Thirdly, cash is the legal tender, is the currency of the nation. It's part of the ethos, part of the culture. It really shouldn't disappear. And fourthly, if you eliminated cash altogether, the next thing you would move to from having only digital banking is a central bank digital currency, which is a different thing in a different situation. But I believe that would follow very quickly, and a lot of people don't want that because all of our spending would be, our income and our spending would be visible to bureaucrats who very well might try to control us.
Yeah, Emma, what do you make of this point about how if everything's digital, everything's tracked, everything's being watched by the government, there's no privacy in what anyone does anymore?
But there's also a lot more safety in that. It reduces muggings, for example. People are carrying less cash, so robberies are on the decrease. So for personal safety, there can also be benefits to going cashless. I think cash can also be quite unhygienic, passing it around. So for the individual, there are some benefits to going cashless.
What about for young children, though, Emma? Because teaching young children about the value of cash, if it's all ethereal, if it's all imaginary, it's all zeros and ones in a computer, rather than being able to count out coins, this is how I learnt about the value of money, pocket money being given every week, knowing sort of what it is that's worth something. Isn't that of value?
There is that to it, but our children's lives are very, very different. We're harking back to because we grew up in that society and that was our way of managing. Young people these days, they just look on their apps, they check their bank accounts. Their lives are so digitally enhanced anyway that they don't learn and need to learn in the same ways that we necessarily did.
Roger, last word to you because we are running out of time.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with that very strongly. I think children still need to get some basic financial knowledge. I don't think too many people get sick from handling banknotes. I don't think the crime aspect, it's just as easy to say to somebody, I'm going to hit you on the head unless you withdraw something, from your mobile app and give it to me or transfer it to my bank account. Here's my number, as it is to steal a few quid from their pocket. I think the things that Emma are saying are not solid arguments to take away something that's so fundamental to society and how people interact with each other. Cash is a kind of, I've heard it described as a spiritualized medium of exchange. It's a way that people exchange energies. To get rid of it and replace it with a software. And the last thing I'll say is, which breaks that you just want to have your clearing bank tell you they've got a tech problem and you can't do anything for 2 days. That's happened to me. So to be solely reliant on that is insane.